Let's take a deep breath in and out. We really needed that for this episode. Hey, you guys, how are you? My name is Janelle Sanchez, and I am so happy that you guys are here listening to the podcast. And I'm excited to dig into today's topic. It is a heavy one, but I'm really excited about it. Before we get into that, I did want to just share a little bit what's on my mind. With my clients, I always share, we do it's what we call like the rose and the thorn and the rosebud. I also say, do you have two highs and two lows for your week? Basically what's something really great that's going on in your life? What is something that's like maybe not so great at the moment? And then what is something you're looking forward to? So I wanted to give my pod a little bit of that energy today. And I'm going to say something that went very, very well. It's been going very well since the last time we've had an episode. I would just say that my routine and me getting back to my fitness routine, my sleep routine, my just like everyday routine, cooking routine, things like that. This week has been so great for that. And after my little downsizing move, I felt like I was like, okay, I need to figure out what does life look like right now for me. And again, I just had to remind myself what's really important for me in this time of my life. And in this time of my life, it's my career, which is I'm moving towards my clinical license. I'm a psychotherapist now, and I'm licensed, but now I want to take it a step further and get that clinical license. And another focus of mine is this podcast. I know. You're probably like, girl, where? No, but I do want to now that my personal routine is at a good place, I feel like my personal podcast, I can get that going. I mean, I need to focus on the things that are going to making me money. Hello. And getting this to a place where I'm working on it daily, because it is something that I really love and I really want to continue pouring into and watering. Another focus of mine is cycle. And so I had stopped going through a training with this cycle place I went to in Philly, just because that's a whole nother podcast episode. But with moving into this new neighborhood, I am cycling at this new gym and I'm really enjoying it. So this whole routine thing, that is my high. That's my high for the week. I'm just so happy that I'm able to like get back to it, get back to feeling like, okay, my life is giving Virgo, okay? Because when I'm not in a routine, it really it's like life doesn't feel good, right? Like for me at least. So yeah, so that's my rose and my thorn, I would say, which is going to be part of this episode. I would say it is this Diddy trafficking case and just the way that I feel it's been impacting my personal life. It's been impacting my energy. And I don't want to get into the details of the case at all, because for obvious reasons, it's everywhere. But I just do think, it's heavy because it's so personal to me, and I know it can be very personal for a lot of my listeners. And you guys, I'm saying a lot of my listeners, like y'all, you guys are the one listening. My bud, what I'm looking forward to, I'm really looking forward to continuing just this like good energy on this whole routine thing I got going on. I'm looking forward to a good friend of mine, Marlena. Shout out to you and Jay. They're going to be getting married soon. I'm so excited to just be able to love on them, and I'm looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to Memorial Day because I haven't seen my family in a long time, and I'm going to be seeing them. And I'm also looking forward to seeing my mom here in a few minutes when I'm done recording this episode, because she's actually on her way here. So, okay, side note, I want to talk about this in another podcast episode too, but when I first thought about starting a podcast, up until I started it, I wanted to name my podcast Morning Girls Glow, right? Like a morning girl's glow, like a girl who's a morning girl, like her glow, that kind of morning girl's glow. And I was stuck on that name for so long. And I was like, that's what I want. I want my audience to be like, mid 20s, early 30s, even like early 20s. And that was my focus. And then something, I don't know, something in my mind changed. And I was like, no, you know what? Let me just pivot and do the whole your best thing. I don't know what it is in the air. I don't know what it is in my heart. Something in me is like, girl, I think it's like morning girls glow energy. Like I think like that's the energy it's giving. And so I say all that to say this whole podcast thing is so new to me, but don't be surprised if one day you open my podcast. My friend is like, do not change your name. Um, but don't be surprised if one day you open this podcast and you're like, morning girls glow. What? Like it was your best thing. I don't know. Or maybe I just have a series that's your, morning girls. And maybe I'll just be launching that in the morning. And, you know what? That's a good idea. If you think that would be a good idea, I don't know, comment, let me know. I think it would be a great idea. So, I'll let you know. I guess you'll know when you know. Okay. But anyway, I did want to get back to when I was talking about like, the thorn and just feeling heavy. And I just wanted to say this, right off the bat. If today is a heavy day for you, if this week was heavy, if the news felt very loud to you, if your chest is tighter than, usual, if you don't know why you're feeling off, I want to tell you, you're not alone. And this episode is definitely for you. I wanted this episode to be a space for those who can, I'm gonna just put it out, for survivors specifically, okay? For those who have experienced trauma and feeling like some of that's coming up. I wanted to create a space to breathe. And you know what? And even those who have close loved ones who've experienced this and you are learning how to love someone, and who's experienced trauma to this level. I wanted to create space, cultivate space for you to breathe, to reflect, and to reclaim your glow, your shine, reclaim your peace, even in the shadows and even in the midst of like all this stuff going on. It's really about you. It's about us and about the space we create when the world is feeling just like so much. And when someone else's story is reminding you of your own story. And when someone else's story reminds you of your own story, when you're doing your best to like hold it all together in your own quiet world while carrying the weight of something that you never asked for, this space is for you. So let's take another deep breath in and out. Let's talk about what's been in the news lately. We know the Diddy sex trafficking case and all the heartbreaking testimony that's been resurfacing around like abuse, around power, around silence. I won't get into graphic things there. Like I said, we heard about it all, and like you can go into TikTok, YouTube, and it's like everywhere. I want to talk about what happens to us, especially survivors, when stories like this dominate headlines, are everywhere, when your body remembers, and when you're feeling it. Okay, sometimes we're just scrolling. You're like me, you're like sipping your coffee and just like, doing your rounds on your little socials. And suddenly your arms feel tightened. That's where I feel, if I'm stressed out, that's where I feel my stress. That's where I feel my trauma. It's in my arms. Or your stomach drops. Or you feel like you're back there in a moment. You're having a flashback in a memory, or in a place that you felt powerless. This episode is about coming back to yourself gently, intentionally, with compassion. Gently, intentionally, with compassion. Gently, intentionally, with compassion. That's my little mantra, and we'll get into that in a little bit. I put up some stats because I was very curious. I know there are a lot of people. I know everyone who is listening to this, even if you're saying, hey, I'm not a survivor, you may most likely possibly know a survivor. And here are some global stats, okay? Approximately 736 million women, nearly 1 in 3 worldwide, have experienced physical and or sexual intimate partner violence, non-partner sexual violence, or both at least once in their lives. Over 640 million women aged 15 and older have been subjected to intimate partner violence. In 2023, around 51,100 women and girls were killed by their intimate partners or family members, averaging 140 deaths per day. I just had to take a moment because I have an aunt who falls into the stat. And so, nearly 1 in 4 adolescent girls aged 15 to 19 who have been in a relationship have already experienced physical, sexual, or psychological abuse by a partner. In the United States alone, approximately 1 in 4 women have experienced severe physical violence by an intimate partner. Intimate partner violence costs the U.S. an estimated $8.3 billion annually in Medicare, mental health services, and lost productivity. Just giving you some perspective here. Those are just some stats that I just wanted to talk about, put them out there because I think it's important. Stats, people are like, oh, they just make everything like so small. And I get like there's a lot going on, but stats are like numbers of things that have happened. Okay. That's what stats are. In case people don't know, research, it's because it's real people. I know you just see numbers, but every number is a person. So let's slow down here. If no one's ever said this to you, if you are listening to this and you've experienced any form of abuse, if no one has ever told you this, no one has ever said this to you, I will, as a sissy, as your internet sissy, as your Virgo friend, as your sister, period, okay? What you experienced was not your fault. You didn't imagine it. You're not crazy. You're not overreacting. And you don't need to justify your pain to anyone. This episode today, it's a little room just for you to be held, to feel whatever comes up. You don't have to perform. You don't even have to judge your thoughts. Just watch them come and go. Here's what I want you to know. There's no one way to survive. Maybe you fought back. Maybe you froze. Maybe you stayed. Maybe you ran. All of it was survival. And your body did what it needed to do to protect you. There's nothing to be ashamed of. That is resilience. That is grit. You don't have to stay in the spiraled state. Your body did what it had to do. And when we are listening to these things and we are being triggered, okay, when we are feeling the heaviness, when we're feeling it in our bodies, your body is still doing what it has to do now, okay? When we experience harm, when we've experienced those things, especially emotional, sexual, or psychological, physical, our nervous system becomes wired to scan for danger. And that's not a weakness, that's survival. It becomes wired to keep us safe, okay? The tools I want to share with you today aren't just like trendy self-care tips. They're regulation strategies. These are things I share with my clients. They're ways to remind your body we're not in the past anymore. We're safe now. As a social worker and someone who's also walked this healing path myself, I know how powerful it is to have simple, accessible tools that help you return to yourself when the world feels like it's a lot, when your mind just can't stop going. You don't have to how can I say, like, intellectualize your pain to heal it. Let me tell you, I was the number one person. Sometimes it's so hard, you guys, being in this field, in the sense that logically, okay? But your body is still showing up, okay? My mind is a therapist, but my body is very much human. My mind is also very much human. My heart, okay? My triggers are very much human. We can start by simply breathing with it and grounding through it and letting your body know it's not alone. And I love that. I think that's been the best thing for me, is really having that mind-body connection. And that is what I want to help you with. I want to help you with having that mind-body connection. And for those of you who don't go to therapy, I want you to go to therapy. Yes, absolutely. If you've experienced something like this and you haven't been to therapy, I know you go when you're ready. I just want to let you know that the way it can help you connect your mind and your body and bring awareness and bring, and just heal that relationship between your mind and your body, it is so, so, so important. It's so healing. It's just so life-changing, really. So, if you haven't tried it, please, this is a good step. I'm not your therapist. I am a therapist, and I will keep reminding you, sissy, talk to someone who is like someone credible, someone who has done the work to be a therapist, not just like, one of these trendy coaches. Okay. So back to this. This is what I want us to do. And I want us to be reminded of, you don't have to stay in the spiraled state. These practices don't erase what happened. I'm going to just put it out there right now. They do not erase what happened. They empower you to reclaim your peace one gentle moment at a time. Okay, so I don't want you to do this once or twice and think like, but Janelle said, what the hell is she talking about? No, these are tools you use constantly over time, and they just help bit by bit. They help you get through each and every moment. Sometimes we can think about life as so big and what about tomorrow and all these things. We get all these anxieties, but we just need to get through the moment right now. Okay. If you're feeling tense in the moment, maybe you're at work and someone else is talking about this case and they're saying things or they're joking. Oh my goodness, the jokes I have no tolerance for. I want you to be able to empower yourself to regulate those emotions and being able to sit in that and do it for you. Do it for yourself. You get what I'm saying? So here's a tool I use with my clients all the time, just about every single day. And I practice it with them because I want this to be second nature. I do this all the time and I love it because no one even knows you're like doing this when you're sitting there by yourself, okay? Or sitting there working or whatever. It's called the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique. And no, this is not Mel Robbins' 5-4-3-2-1 get up. This is a different way this is a way, not a different way, but this is a way that you can, again, it's all about connecting your mind to your body. We want to tell our minds and our brains, you are safe now, okay? Your brain is telling you, when your body is trying to tell your brain when it's having these like triggers and you're feeling your heartbeat and you want to, you're feeling it in your throat tighten, all these things. It's your body saying, oh my goodness, this thing is happening again. We have to get safe. What we're going to do now, we're going to tell our mind, all right, you need to connect with our body and remind our body that we are safe. Okay. So with this 5-4-3-2-1 technique, you're going to use all your 5 senses. First, you're going to start at the top with 5. I wanted you to name, it's like you have to, I don't know if you've seen the Inside Out movie, when she's struggling with anxiety is Inside Out 2. It's funny because I use this clip or this, reference for kids when I'm doing this with kids, because they've watched this movie. But the girl in the movie, she has a moment where she is about to have a panic attack and she gets, she's by herself. And while all the emotions are spiraling, having a big chaotic party in her head, she starts to breathe in deeply. She starts to look around to be very aware of, like, not just aware, but she's like looking at things and she's feeling the bench. She's, again, taking deep breaths because she is connecting with her senses. And when we connect with our senses and we're connecting our bodies to the right now, that's grounding. So I want you to go through your senses. I want you to name 5 things you can see. Okay. Right now, I can see my camera. I can see my water bottle. I can see my phone. I'm keeping an eye on it because my mom's on her way here. I can see this microphone. I can see a plant. So I want you to say to yourself 5 things you can see right now, not things you saw earlier. Okay. Because we want to ground ourselves. Then I want you to go down 4 things you can touch. I always tell my clients, what are the 4 things you can touch, and describe them to me? Because sometimes we just touch it. We want to connect with our bodies. My water bottle, it has these ridges. It feels cold. My skin, it feels nice and smooth. My desk, it feels cool and like this like different kind of texture. This paper, it's feeling I can get a paper cut. Name 4 things that you can touch and tell me what it feels like. It can be anything. My rug underneath my feet and my toes, it feels furry. Okay. Then I want you to go down 3 things you can hear. Take a moment. What can I hear right now? I can hear the AC unit playing on right now. I can hear my own voice. I can hear people like laughing right outside my window. Then I want you to go down 2 things you can smell. Right now, I smell my perfume. It smells really good. It's Dolce & Gabbana. It's like this watermelon smell. It's like a nice spring smell. And I smell my lip gloss. It's Fenty. It smells good. It smells like lip gloss. Okay. You see how I'm connecting my mind to my body, saying it to myself. You don't even have to say it out loud. Just say it to yourself so you can ground yourself, your body. You even talking about and processing what you're seeing right now and using your different senses. You are telling your body, I'm safe. I'm safe. You're bringing your heart rate down. When your heart rate comes down, your nervous system is like, oh, okay, we're safe. We're safe. One thing you can taste, I always tell my clients, if you're feeling like you're having a lot of anxiety, or you're feeling like, you're in a moment where I'm having these like triggers constantly while I'm at work, or I'm finding myself zoning out and having these flashbacks, and I'm just in a spiral of flashbacks, keep something in your pocket that is like maybe mints, or like a candy, or like something that you can activate your taste. Okay. The same with the smell. Keep something like peppermint, or like something, a oil, something that you can rub on your wrist. So you can, if you're at work typing and you're having these flashbacks and your mind wants to go there, you bring it back to bring that awareness back to your body. Smell that. What does it smell like? It's so good. All right. Hopefully that's a tool that you can do. You can do with me, even if you have to pause the podcast, do that and go through it. Okay. If you're driving, you could do it while you're driving too. Isn't that crazy? You could do it focus on the road too, but if you're at work, if you are on your walk, hug or walk right now. Okay. This brings your awareness back to the present moment, out of your spiraled memory. Okay. And into your right now. Another thing you can do, I do this with my clients as well, is box breathing. We love doing this in therapy. And you're basically inhaling for 4 seconds, a nice slow inhale for 4 seconds. You're going to hold it for 4 seconds, and then you're going to exhale it for 4 seconds. Okay? And the reason why you want to do this is because it slows the heart rate down. And when we slow the heart rate down, it tells our nervous system you are safe. And you want to repeat this for 1 to 2 minutes. Okay? So let's just try an inhale for 4 seconds. You ready? Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let it go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. You see? Even me just saying it, even me just talking it out, like counting. I couldn't really breathe that that deep because I was counting out loud. I'm going to give you this last tip. I have like about 2 more, and it's like one of my favorites. And I always say this: movement is medicine. And I want you to move your body, even if it's gentle. Okay. You don't have to go run a marathon, in the moment that you're being triggered, but you could do something. I often tell my clients, again, shake it out. You could shake your arms. You can tap your arms up and down. Okay. Tap your legs. You can rock gently. Take a walk around the hall, around the room if you're at work, okay? The thing is, we often associate our trauma with our memories and our minds and where it goes and our spirals in our mind. But what we don't realize is that trauma gets stuck in our bodies. We don't heal just by thinking. We heal by moving. Okay, in grad school, I remember this. I wrote this. I wish I wrote this book. Y'all would all know all my whole name. I would have a lot of money right now. But there's this book called The Body Keeps the Score. And it talks about how trauma gets stored up in our bodies. And this is when we're not being intentional about healing and moving and movement. Then we see people who have experienced trauma who don't move their bodies, who don't, how they come. There's diagnoses that come with that. There's, other things that we see when we're not intentional about moving and healing our bodies. All right. Lastly, this is one of my favorite ones and one that I use all the time. And it's a mantra. Having a mantra that you say when you are feeling like you're having a flashback, like you find yourself just gazing off into the past. Okay. When you find yourself getting tired, or like I said, you hear something, it's frustrating you. You need this mantra just to bring you back. Okay. So one of my mantras, like I said earlier, it's just, I like to just rub my hand over my heart and I just say gently, intentionally, with compassion. And I like to say that because to me, I have to remind myself to be gentle with myself, not to be mad at myself because I'm having these moments of a flashback, not to be, upset at myself. Like, why did you decide to go out that night? I knew I didn't even want to go out that night. Having something you tell yourself that's gentle, some caring words to yourself. Sometimes when your body is going through that, maybe it's not your mind. Like I said, maybe it's your body tightening up and your mind has to tell your body, this is not then. This is not that. And that was then. This is now. I'm allowed to feel and still be safe. I'm gonna tell you this. As I was reflecting this week, I had a friend who said, I just love him so much. And he said, "Are you okay?" Because one thing about him, he knows that I'm gonna be on this case watching this. Because, I have two sides of my family who've experienced some heaviness when it comes to these topics, and they were drastic. And I also, myself, a survivor, experienced something ugly and horrible. And when I'm ready to share that whole story, I would love to share it with others, just to build community, and build that safe space. But I just don't think that's right now, the time right now. If anyone knows me personally, I am like that person who like, I'm like, I want to like, oh, like I'm just like a cheetah, but in this season of my life, I want, I'm trying to be a butterfly. I just want to be a butterfly, that's what I feel like, and I'm just like thinking and telling myself, and even when he asked me like, "Are you okay?" and we just started talking about this, and I was sharing with him my frustrations of like just others making jokes about Diddy or like, the freak offs, all this stuff. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, for some people, they don't get it. And like this stuff there's a lot of jokes, but for a lot of people, this takes them back to a place of so much pain. And this is why I felt like I couldn't even get on my podcast and have an episode that I did not talk about this, in the sense of I did not provide tools and ways that we together can have a safe space, so then we can like almost just like be seen and be heard. And that's what I want this podcast episode to be like, because I just felt like, the world doesn't always know how to hold our stories gently. It doesn't. And actually, it not that it doesn't always, it just doesn't. Even if the world knows, it just doesn't hold our stories gently. And that's what this episode is for, is to hold our stories gently, hold ourselves gently, and to hold each other gently. If you can, if you're feeling these ways. Every time you pause to care for yourself, every time you choose not to spiral, every time you soften instead of harden, you're reclaiming a piece of you. You're reclaiming your power. You're reclaiming your joy. Okay, like I said, in this season, I am a butterfly. I'm a butterfly. I'm fragile like a butterfly. Now, a few months ago, I was fragile like a bomb. Okay? I'm not gonna lie, maybe some days I still am. No. But when I think about a few months ago, I really was fragile like a bomb. And I'm finding that now I just feel fragile like a butterfly and soft, And I think the more that I soften my heart and I should say the more I'm gentle with myself, the more I lean in to caring for my body, the more I give myself that space to be soft and to be Janelle, okay? And I want you to do the same. Okay. So I hope that this, if you're listening and you have experienced something like this, I hope this was helpful. I hope this time with me, and I know my time just knowing that there will be listeners who listen to this, it makes me feel like my heart feels softer, because the truth is you're not alone in that. You're not alone in feeling like, why is everyone joking about this? It's not a joke, Cassie shared some words, or her lawyer, she shared them and her lawyer said them, and it was just so beautiful. And she says something to the extent of like, the more I heal, the more I remember. And the more I remember, the more I'll never forget. And she said, the more I never forget, the more I'll share, because like there's others out there, and that those are not the word for word, but that's basically what she said. Like the more, I won't forget. And so I'll share more, because there's so many women. I mean, I shared with you the stats of how many women, I mean, there's women who have experienced this, and because it's been okay and it's gone down through generation to generation to generation, they just know like sexual abuse has been a part of their bloodline. They have been silent for so many years, and maybe they're experiencing, like I said earlier, like the different repercussions and stuff like that within their bodies, because they just never let it out. Or maybe you are just like, listen, I never shared this because I just didn't even know how to put words to it. I hope this was a safe space for you. I hope this was a healing space for you. I hope these techniques and these different coping mechanisms are going to help you. If you need any resources or anything like that, please feel free to reach out on my Instagram. I'm also going to mention the hotline if you need it. I'll put that right in the description just because it's so important to know that if you need that help, if you're experiencing any of these things now, reach out because there is a brighter day. Okay? Ooh. I'm going to leave you with this. You are not broken. You are not too much. You are not alone. You are healing. And I'm so proud of you. I hope you're proud of you too. Okay? Take up space. You get to protect your peace. You get to protect your softness. And you get to feel and you get to still shine and glow and be free. And until next time, I love you.